There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because when is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamarae. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth the lies must fade away. It's been a long time coming, yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking, it won't be long to make our dreams come true, for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to rob brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down to make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because when is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. But how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring a master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring a master teacher. Freedom for the master, 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 master teacher. Freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to rob brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down to make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher, freedom, master teacher. Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher, freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring the master teacher, bring the freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring the master teacher, bring the freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down, and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher. Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamarae. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth the lies must fade away. It's been a long time coming, yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking, it won't be long to make our dreams come true, for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, could never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring the master teacher, bring the master teacher, for the master, master teacher. For the master, bring the master teacher, bring the master teacher, for the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master. Teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamarae. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth the lies must fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we could never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring the master teacher, bring the freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom teacher, freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down, and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down, and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher.
Who is God? God is God.
I found out that this man, who was Dr. Malachi York,
This three-eyed actors thing, they're playing on the ignorance of the masses. They let you know what they want you to know.
I said I was going to take all y'all back to Egypt with me. I can't because the Arabs are messing everything up, so hell I'm bringing Egypt here for you.
They've made so much jokes about aliens, but the word really is extraterrestrials or extra beings.
A swit myth. In our language, that means the black man.
They say, oh, it's a craft, and then you start to look at the whole Anunnaki thing. The devil was telling the truth, and God was lying.
Amongst us, we have those beings, those high beings, going back 9 billion years ago, who are here on the planet.
Extraterrestrials do leave their children here. We can name drop them. David Bowie, Jimi Hendrix, caught up in their spiritual or their scientific knowledge of who they were, and they were caught up in both worlds. Within the center of the earth is hollow. There's beings that actually live and reside in there.
They now have fighter jets whereby it's connected to the pilot's subconscious.
Hitler was building these crafts in the Antarctic.
You can't claim innocence due to ignorance. It doesn't say at the beginning, it says in the beginning. That means during a replenishing period. So that means that the earth was already there.
Some lost their soul because they've mixed in with other creatures on the planet. And when you mix in with other creatures are on a lower level.
Souls are recycled. Spirits are recycled. Most people have not been taught the information about the spirit and the soul. Rahubat. Greetings, family. Rahubat Muisar. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Once again to another live Ask Us Anything on OSM Vision. It's always a pleasure and an honor to come before you to share the doctrine of Wu-Sabat by way of Pa-Nabab Yanun, the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z.K. York, who we affectionately refer to as Pa-Nabab Yanun. All right, let's see who's tuning in and where from. Class Conversations 525, greetings from New Jersey, USA, Rahubat. Trevor, Rahubat. We got a caller?
No.
Oh.
Voice note when you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, if you haven't already liked, shared, please do that now so we can reach as many people as we can. Yeah, Sia Boulay, South Africa, Rahubat. Sorry, your name's long. Who else is on? Bidef, Rahubat. Okay, we'll come to that question. Just greet everyone first. Krolo El Rahubat, Moisar, Rahubat family. Life is a blessing, Rahubat. Okay, good questions already. Wow, we're going to have a great session today. We're going to have a great session. Yeah, all right. Pillardell. Okay. Remember, this is a Q&A. Ask us questions. Pharaoh in the house, Rahubat, Zamal. Remember, you can call in live as well. Yeah. The number's in the chat. Yeah, that's +44 for the UK code. And then 753 996 3882. I repeat, area code +44, then 753 996 3882. Call in and ask your question live. Remember, your question helps someone around the world who may be thinking of or always wanted to know the same answer to the question that you're asking. So don't ever think your question is not going to help someone, no matter how complex or how silly or how simple you might think it is. Just ask your questions. All right. Rahubat, Coco Brown, Rahubat. All right. Yeah, we got a call, yeah? Voice note. Let's go for it.
Hi, Saken. I'm doing good. My name is Percy. I'm sending this voice note from South Africa. Before my question, I want to make a point, and then I will follow with my question. My point is, when you go to places like Home Affairs, or maybe to banks, you need to be taken a photo or a picture of yourself. Even you need to be taken fingerprints. Sometimes they tell you that you are not in the system. If you don't have an ID, you are not in the system. So my question is, why do we have to be taken all those things like pictures, fingerprints, and they give us IDs? And then what system they are telling us we are not in that system? So I just want to hear from your side, from your point of view, because to me, I don't get that kind of system. What is it? And why do we need to be given all those things? Because where we are born from, in our homes, or where we come from in our homes. They know us, they know our names, they know who we are, but why this society need to be, why in this society we need to be given or to be taken all those things? That's my question for today.
Okay, Rahubat Wawe, good question. Thank you for your question. So the question for, just to kind of summarize, is why do we have to give information and take pictures when we go into places like public affairs and different government buildings and give ID and so on and so forth? Well, we've been telling people this for years. We're living in a day and time where something called the New World Order is in effect, right? The New World Order is a system whereby you have a small group of people that are wanting to rule and control the world, right? And it's not any one person, it's a combination of different high profile people, different countries, different governments. We have the book called The Luciferian Conspiracy, Leviathan. These books go into detail because what we keep saying to people is, all right, people will read the Bible, for example, and the Quran and these religious books that explains that there's going to come a time, right, like the books of prophecy, like they talk about the book of Revelations, and which is known by many names, the Apocrypha, etc. And they will say in fact, from the beginning of the Genesis or the beginning of the Quran, they told you, you have two worlds. You have God on one side and you have the devil on the other side. And the whole purpose of the devil, the story is that he is going to prove to God that humans are not worthy. And so he's going to tempt them. He's going to take them off the path. And then you have situations where there's a war that took place, Revelation 12:7. And it talks about God and his angels headed by the archangel Michael, yeah? He fought a war against the dragon and his angels. The dragon is the person that people call the devil, okay? The devil or the dragon, the serpent, is known by many names, Azazel, etc., etc., Shakar, Tarnosh. They fought this war and they lost. Read the book, just read Revelation 12:7, and it tells you that he was cast out of heaven and down. So if heaven is up there and you're cast out of it and down here, and it tells you that the devil has offspring. Even in Genesis, it's talking to you and telling you about the serpent, okay? That God put enmity between the serpent and the woman's seed. And it explains that they have children. Genesis 6:4 talks about the Nephilims that came down here, right? And they had children and they took the women, the daughters of men. So it says the sons of God took the daughters of men and they had offspring. So, and they've been multiplying on the planet ever since. You look at when it's talking about legions, okay? It talks about beings that are disembodied beings that are here also, that have no body. They were cast down here. These are demonic spirits. What I'm saying is when we look at that, people forget that if they're here on this planet and they've been having children and multiplying, both sides. So you've got the good side, Michael and his angels, you've got the bad side, the dragon, the draconian, the reptilians, and their angels or offspring. So you've got these two sides, seraphim, which is the good ones, cherubim, yeah, Yah on one side, Way on the other side. There is a war that's been going on and has been going on for a very long time, from the heavens, in the skies, on the planet, between two brothers, Enki and Enlil, Jacob and Esau. The list just goes on and on and on, because This war is going on mentally, it's going on physically, and it's going on spiritually. So you have beings on the planet that have bringing about this new world order, which is to have one government, one religion, one church, one everything, because it's easier to control. So now, when you look at the system, like you're talking about, how does this come about? How is everybody controlled by way of the system? The beast, right? Because the books of Revelation mentions the beast. The beast is in many forms. There was an actual computer called the beast, right? Known as IBM 366 in Belgium, okay? And some of these children born to Satan, that's why when you say Satan or Shaitan or the devil or Lucifer, Azazel, all these names, right? It's because they're different children. It's not just one person with a pitchfork in a place called hell, right? There are people walking amongst us that are children of the devil, and you have children of God, if you want to use that term, right? Whether you want to say Elohim, etc., etc. This is why when we explain and break down that these beings that people are referring to as gods, as angels, are extraterrestrials, and they all want to take control of this planet. You have many, many, many species of extraterrestrials. Some want to live here in harmony with us. Some want to just live by themselves in their own world underneath the seas, in the caverns. Some are in crafts in the skies. And others, they want to take control and take control of everyone. And you have, like I said, the different organizations and governments that work through organizations such as the Illuminati and many, many groups. They're in every facet of society. So it's not surprising to us because we've been teaching this. And some people think when we say Michael and his angels are fighting against the dragon and his angels, and the same way they didn't prevail in the heaven is the same way this war has to be won here as well. And whenever they are defeated, they move on to somewhere else to try and colonize and take over. That's their nature. So now everything is becoming security. Everything they will say, and there are aspects to security in terms of, you know, knowing where everyone is. But at the same time, there is an agenda to control everyone and control everything by way of the New World Order and by organizations such as the Illuminati. So you've got the dark side, and people, when I say dark in terms of looking at it as, you know, evil or bad, and then you have the good side. So what it is you have to recognize, when we say Michael, we're talking about Michael as in Malachi Zodok, and he's here fighting and has been fighting in terms of giving the information to wake people up to the reality of what's really going on. So now everything you do is KYC. KYC is face recognition. It's about providing ID, but at the same time, if you're in the world, you have to obey the laws of the land that you live in, and if you don't have anything to worry about, if you're not doing anything illegal or criminal, then you really have nothing to worry about. But at the same time, people think it's just about getting bits of information. No, in order for you to be able to liberate yourself and not be in certain radar, this is what Wu-Sabat is here to do. This is why we put out all this knowledge and all this information, so you be aware of the agendas of things that are taking place, not just on an individual basis, but on a global scale, with nature, with the planet itself, with alignments of planetary bodies, with you transforming yourself inside out. Because the part of you, right, this goes down to you as well as a being. You have both agreeable and disagreeable within you, but you have to align yourself with one side or the other predominantly. Not saying you don't need both sides of your nature. It's like energy, right? So you have positive and negative, all right, in terms of polarity, but it's about being balanced. So yeah, if you want to be in a community and be able to be protected and to learn and to know what's taking place and what you need to do so that you don't get caught up in a particular situation. That's why we're here giving out truth. Truth, it tells you, truth will prevail over evil. And when the truth comes, yeah, all lies and falsehood has to perish. This is the war going on right now, but it starts within yourself. This is what is referred to as jihad, although it's been misinterpreted. Jihad is the internal war between your two sides, yeah? To learn which one of them is leading you in the wrong direction, in the wrong way, and the one that is leading you in the right direction. And ultimately, it's about the vibration and the frequency and the energy that you emit, which means that you will resonate with those that are also on that vibration, and you can actually change things by way of your energy. Okay, this is what we're calling the conscious or the transformation, because as human beings, we have evolved physically, but we're in a day and time where we're evolving spiritually and more consciously. This is why everyone's talking about the Christ consciousness, being woke, being, you know, in the Aquarian age, and all you're doing is you're just going to exist, but in a particular resonance frequency that is higher than the lower vibrations and frequencies, so it won't really affect you, right? You have to liken this to how diseases in your body. Remember, the word disease is dis-ease, right? So when you're not at ease, you're the opposite, which is dis-ease, disease, right? Can only function and vibrate in certain environments. Alkaline versus acidic, you see? So this is why all these things we're talking about, it translates from all levels in terms of your density, and it's about your mind being on one accord with those that are on that vibration, and together you will topple or defeat the devil and his world that is actually crumbling and falling. It tells you Babylon the Great will fall. Read Revelations 18, and it tells you, Revelation 18:2, we mention about the 7 heads and the 10 horns, which goes into these world powers that are all part of the Luciferian conspiracy. You see, so things are playing out right in front of our eyes, and sometimes, you know, people don't take heed, they don't listen to what or see what's going on around them. But when you have one who knows, one who's a guide, one who's telling us and teaching us, we know what we need to do. And it's down to every individual to decide for themselves. We have a part of that called par takror, which means the decision. And it's your decision, and you can just change right now. It's all about your mentality and how you change so that you're not in that, you know, you're not caught up in that radar. So yeah, the New World Order is real. The Luciferians are real. Leviathan is real. But then you also have the other side, and it says that God's angels will win. And that's what it's about. All right, let's move on to the next question. This is from BC Death. Rahubat wanted to ask, what is your thoughts on the newly opened Egyptian museum? Is it a good or bad thing? Are they trying to preserve the Egyptian culture? And is it important to humankind? I mean, we don't really focus on opinions. However, we do use right reasoning, which is one of the highest forms of analyzing, critical thinking. So you know, your eyes being open means that you see what's going on around you, and anything that's significant that's taking place, of course you want to know, right? So when you say, is it a good or a bad thing? Good and bad is subjective, which basically means that something could be good to one person and that same thing can be bad to somebody else. So it all depends on who is benefiting from the action and who is not benefiting from the action. So good and bad, as I said, is really based on like, okay, the person that is opening the museum, they have a reason, they have an agenda, they have, it may be, okay, to make money or whatever, that may be their thing. And if they're making money, so it's a good thing to them. But then to other people who perhaps may be exploited or, do you know what I mean, they're not getting anything from it, to them it's going to probably be a bad thing. Now, what I would say, because I actually watched the opening ceremony, and my observation was that when you looked at the people, even when you go to Egypt today, the word Egyptian and the people that are there are not the true and original Egyptians by way of descendancy and ancestry. And that's what I noticed. I noticed like you're dealing with modern day Egyptians who come by way of Ishmael, who was the son of Hagar and Abraham. So you're looking at more the caramel complexion beings, and over years, excavations and so forth, to so-called restore and preserve these artifacts, have seen with evidence many whitewashing, you know, noses being cut off, new art being, you know, the features are being more alkaline and caramelized and so forth. So, you know, it's good for the people that are passing themselves off as, you know, being the Egyptians. I mean, even now when you go to Egypt, for those who have never been to Egypt, there are different parts of Egypt. There's Cairo, which is like the main city. Now you got the new Cairo, which is a modern type of city. But then you got Aswan, and you got like Luxor, and you got other parts where if you go there, you will see the natives, right? Like in Aswan, they've been pushed away, and you know, they don't get the same benefits. And like I said, if you go to Egypt now, you see it's almost like it's being gentrified, a lot of it. So, and it depends on what's there. Now, are they going to be charging people for it? And they say Egyptian culture, and is it important to mankind? I mean, if it's good evidence and things that people can go and look at that are real, then fine. But if it's going to be something that's whitewashing or distortion or changing the narrative, etc., then that's a bad thing, because it's always good to preserve the truth. And so I hope, I mean, I've given you something, but that's again based on my opinion, even though, you know, we try to stay away from opinions, but you've asked me a question regarding it, so I have to address it. Okay. Okay. I don't see it. Oh, there we go. JX, appreciate love your donation. Every little helps. Thank you. Tawat, as we say in Miss Batia. And that just reminds me, man, I'm so excited. There's some news, good news I have to share with you, but we'll wait till the end for that. So stick with us all the way to the end. Let other people know. But you've reminded me of something that I want to share with you later. How does polygamy work in Wu-Sabat? Yeah, again, polygamy is actually the wrong term. It's polygyny. But again, this is what happens with like misinformation. Within our culture of Wu-Sabat, there are very strict rules as to why somebody may want to, you know, engage in such practices. It's not for everyone, and not everybody, you know, will want to do it. But if there was a reason, very valid reasons, you know, it's something that is discussed amongst the families, it's discussed amongst the culture, the people involved. And, you know, there may be various reasons. It could be for health reasons, it could be anything, but it has to be a valid reason. And, you know, we don't want to go into too much of the details, but it's done in a very strict fashion. It's not just like frivolous, like, oh, I just want to have. And the thing is, in many cultures, this is something that is practiced, and when we start to look at the legitimate reasons and why, you know, it makes sense in many ways. So we actually have a patriarchal sexual violations. I don't have it with me right now. We have the 33 commandments of the Sabians. We have many scrolls that go into it, the Lotus of Life on the sacred feminine, by Pana Babyanun, that goes into it. But it's a very strict, you know, it's a very strict thing in terms of, but yeah, if possible, is down to the person and the individuals, but it's very strict in the sense that the first wife has a major role in the decision and has to approve it, in terms of if, say, another man wanted to bring somebody else into the union. Yeah, I mean, there's so much detail we could go into, but in Wu-Sabat, it's done in the most strict and most sensible way. Like I said, you may have to ask a little bit more information if there's something specific you want to know, but it's not done in a way that, like I said, it's not, I just want to have, you know, multiple wives or whatever. So, but yeah, it's mainly from the male perspective, in the sense of having 4 wives, no more, and it all depends on the reasons why. And many people may choose not to, and they just want to stay with one person or one part. It's not something that you have to do, you know, but there are instances or situations where it's possible to do that. All right. Okay, that was from JX. Let's go back to the next question from Life is a Blessing. Rahubat Moisa, did consciousness always exist? And are there different types, not levels of consciousness? Not levels of consciousness. And are we all connected to the same consciousness? Okay, so a lot of times we ask questions based on our experience, obviously, as humans on the planet. And what we call consciousness to us is the ability to be aware, and to be aware means that there is intelligence and movement. So yes, in that regard, consciousness always existed, because when we're dealing with intelligence and movement, it's like saying, if you think about how you begin in terms of your life, you begin as a sperm, a tadpole looking entity, but you know how to move and race to get to the ovum, right, of the woman. And so life begins with that race of 7,777,777 sperms, approximately, right? And out of that amount of sperm racing on this rate, we call it in the chaotic waters, because you're like in water racing to the ovum, and the person that wins the race is the person that becomes you, if you're alone, in the sense of you didn't come with a twin. On rare occasions, you have maybe 2 or even more sometimes, but you get like fraternal twins, identical twins, and so there will be 2. But really, the fact that you have the knowledge or the intelligence to know how to navigate or to move and go to a specific place, to come here and be grown in the womb of your mother, that's consciousness, right? Even when you go back to before that, say like the universe, the birth of the universe, like something caused movement to create friction, because everything vibrates and everything moves. When I say movement, because you're dealing with, to be conscious is to move, is to have intelligence to know what's going on. So how did friction just come about for a big bang to come about to cause the universe? And then from that point, there's a chain reaction of events, you know, and intelligence. Like if something is in darkness, because remember, light didn't exist. So light coming out of darkness, I'm saying all this to say that depending on your level of attainment and your level of, that's what we're saying earlier on, consciousness, in terms of how you're elevating yourself, right? Physically, spiritually, mentally, etherically, you're gonna realize that there are beings that exist on higher levels of consciousness outside of what you call time, matter, and space, right? Because movement creates expansion, like from the big bang of the universe, and then it starts to expand and grow and grow and grow and grow. And everything then within it is also expanding and growing. There's levels of intelligence that are outside of that bubble. And this is why we keep explaining to people that our ancestors who have evolved to the state of being pure energy beings as Etherians, ether energy, right? Because ether is the highest level in terms of, when we say 9 ether, we're talking about the combination of all existing conscious gases, right? When we say conscious gases, it means they're intelligent, they know what to do, they know how to come together to evolve and to form things. But we have our ancestors that are pure ether or pure etheric energy. And they are, like, in terms of intelligence, millions and millions of years ahead of in terms of their evolution. And we're doing the same. This is why I said at the beginning that we're also now evolving on a conscious level. This means that you have to deal with being able to connect and tap into higher consciousness by way of your mental, where we say the mind or your mind. Your mind is able to connect to the higher conscious realms, and therefore we are all connected, but in various degrees. Yeah, so that's why we say that we have a part of that actually called conscious being. If you haven't read that, it's definitely one you should get hold of, because when you say being, you are more than your skin suit. You're more than the physical you, the material you, which is really bacteria vibrating on the lower levels. And it goes all the way in terms of, like, even with your mind. Like, some people have a mentality that vibrates very low, meaning the vibrations and the thoughts that come out of them are dealing with things on very mundane, low levels. Like, they're not really concerned with higher levels of consciousness. They're just concerned with being more of their animal nature, which is based on survival instincts. As long as they're able to have some protection from the elements, food to eat, just like food, shelter, clothing, they're good. They don't really worry or think about the complexities of life in terms of solving problems of the world. You know, they don't think about what happens if, this planet was hit by a meteorite, or what should we do to solve the problems of the planet, like hunger or wars, or even like homelessness, drug problems. Just think of all the problems we have in the world. There are people who try to solve them in an agreeable way. And then you have those who capitalize on people's suffering and want to keep you down and under so that they can control and be on top. Because if you don't have the devil, let's say, or bad, then how can you be good, or how can you feel like you're superior to someone else if they're on the same level as you? And this is what I was saying when I'm talking about the beings like are part of this Illuminati, New World Order, or beings that have some kind of agenda to control everyone and everything. Because in order for them to do that, they need you not to be on the same level as them. This is the argument in the Bible right at the beginning with Adam and Eve, and the situation where, you know, God was saying to them, don't eat of the fruit, right, in the garden, which is the fruit of what? Knowledge, because it says when you eat it, or when they ate it, it says their eyes were open to know what? Good from evil. See, because up until that point, the God was controlling them, and they did whatever God told them to do. But the serpent comes along and tells them that, no, that's not true. That God is telling you, he's just telling you that so that he can keep you under control, and then he can parade around like he's over you. And the serpent told them the truth. He said, no, that's not true. The day you eat of that fruit, you will not die. For God does know that in the day you eat it, your eyes shall be open. Of course, their eyes were already open because they were walking around, and to be able to see the fruit, to see that it was beautiful, to see the tree, to see this so-called serpent and have a dialogue and speak with, they were walking around in the garden. So their eyes were already open, but it was talking about their third eye, or their pineal gland, the eye that connects you to higher consciousness, you see. So when they ate it, their eyes were open. They started to know things. And that's one of the things today that most people don't know. They're walking around blind. And we come along as OSM Vision with the truth, and we teach and tell you the truth so that your eyes are open and you're like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know these conspiracies, these things, these agendas are going on, and that you've been maimed by these same gods or extraterrestrials who basically took a part of you away and maimed you so that you lost your barothry gland and you didn't know how to connect back to these higher levels. But because we're reaching a stage now where people are evolving, right, consciously, they're now reactivating, their third eye is opening, they're awoke, and they're like starting to use these higher senses that connects them to the nine ether, like telepathy, intuition, psychometry, clairvoyance. These are the higher senses that make you a god. And if you're acting and applying the knowledge that you're being given, because that's what it says, to know, and to know, the first part of the word knowledge is know. Not to believe or have belief, which clearly you see the word lie in those two words. And this is why religions, the first thing they want you to do is to believe. They say you need to believe in this, you need to believe in God, you need to believe in Jesus, you need to believe in Muhammad, you need to believe in something. And then they go through a ceremony of you, what, being, whether it's baptized, taking your shahada, whatever, to say, from now on, I want to believe, not to know. You know, to know is to have knowledge so that you make the right decisions. And so, yes, that's where we are all connected by way of consciousness, but at various different degrees or levels. And this is in our culture referred to as Pa'ut, or the all expanding. So really everyone has the potential, and now no excuse, because the truth is here. You can choose to pretend and put your head, dig your head in sand and just pretend nothing is going on around you, but what are you doing? You're only fooling yourself. And ignorance is not bliss. They showed you that in the movie The Matrix as well, where it was like, do you want to know the truth? Take the blue pill. Or no, do you want to stay in the Matrix and take the red pill? So everyone has the opportunity. And so, you need to start developing the real you, the real inner being, all right? So you need to know how to do that. This is where Wu-Sabat comes in, with the teachings that really get you to elevate your mind spiritually, the practices, you know, what you put into your body, how you treat people. Do you look after, you know, your internal being through meditation, through, you know, spiritual practices? There's so many things, but most people are confused because the world today, going back to the first question about what I'm saying about the New World Order, is done by way of the web, right? The web, that's why I mentioned that computer, IBM 366, because that's how the original web evolved. When you say web, a web is something what the spider uses to trap its prey. And it's no coincidence the word prey relating to the word pray as in prayer. You know, this, but when you believe, you know, you pray to these gods, you appease these gods, you do things for them to feed off of your energy and have you under control, because you're giving your energy and your power to them, you know. So the web, World Wide Web, if you really go into the word, is zigzag zig, it goes into 666, right? There's many, many things we can talk about and go into, but this is why the web, it can reach anybody anywhere in the world. But again, you have to know how to use it in a positive way and not in a negative way. And so online, there's so much, there's the dark web as well. There's so many things that, you know, you can go underground and do things that appease to these beings. Behind the devices, behind that, there are other entities connected to these devices by way of their energy, and they're pushing out the misinformation, the wrong information. They're pushing out, you know, the pornography. They're pushing out all the things that people go online and may be affected by. But you have to also be in a position where you're using your discernment. You're able to know good from bad, and then you apply the usefulness of the internet or the web, like we're doing. We're using it to reach people, to promote and share truth and share unity and love. You know, so you can always use anything in a positive or a negative way. Just like fire. Fire, people will say, if you ask somebody, is fire bad or good? You're going to get two sides, right? People can use fire. It's not the fire that's the problem. It's how you use it. Do you use it to cook food, to warm, you know, a baby? Do you use it to destroy and burn down things? So that everyone has the fire, but there are two types of fire. You have the destructive one, right? This is the amber light, which deals with the 9 mental diseases. And then you have the green light, which is the healing light. And Michael, or the being that is referred to as Michael, he's of the green light. Then you have the children of Lucifer, the Luciferians, they're children of the amber light. And so this is what's playing out today. You've got to realize you have a fire within you known as your solar plexus. Solar relates to sun, yeah? Solar energy is powerful, but you have to use that fire constructively. Now, some people use it in a destructive manner, and, you know, this is what happened in the situations with Cain and Abel in the Bible, and these wars, Enki and Enlil, I mentioned Jacob and Esau, and you can keep going on and on, where one person is aligning themselves with the green light, and the other person in Islam, they refer to that smokeless fire, that you know, when people get angry and they huff and they puff and it's like, I'm going red, like the red energy, that's that fire. It's like you get haughty, you get, your countenance drops, where you're no longer in control, and then entities, other beings that jump in you because they love that. That's the energy they want. You know, they want to create the chaos, the wars, the unaliving. So yeah, so really it's down to you. All right, let's keep going. Wow, today you guys are being very generous and supporting us, and we want to show you that we definitely appreciate, love you. So that's JX again, thank you. And we also have Sekhet Ra. Much love to you guys. Thank you. Right, let me see. JX has another question. Do you not believe that men are poly by nature and women monogamous by their nature? It's not what I believe, it's factual. Like in terms of naturally, in a natural environment, and just the fact of, you know, there's so much scientific evidence to support it, you know, like a man is supposed to multiply, yeah? The man has so much sperm, and a man can be fertile and continue, you know, to procreate far longer than a woman can. They, you know, they have a certain amount of eggs, and at a certain point, it, you know, it dries out. And just by nature, you know, like it's impossible for one woman to carry multiple children for different men at the same time. I'm not talking about different times, at the same time. By nature, it's possible for a man to have several children by different women at the same time. But I'm not saying this, don't misquote me, right? We're not saying to be frivolous and go out there and be promiscuous and have no control, because we're living in a day and time where it's dangerous because of many diseases and so forth and so forth. But yes, by natural nature, you know, I've heard very intelligent women break this down, you know, and when you start to look at the population and look at the ratio of men to women, you know, there is a shortage. And this is something that when you deal with it from an intelligent point of view, and not just like an emotional point of view, or just a very kind of like basic mentality point of view, you have to think about this, especially as women. I pose this question to many women in discussing this topic on many occasions, and I'll be like, if let's say there were 10 men totally to 100 women in a society on the planet, would you as a woman be so selfish as to say, okay, there's 10 women that can have one of the men each, but then there's going to be another 90 women that haven't got no one? What do you suggest for them? If you as a sister love them and care about them, and you guys want to grow and build, what do you suggest? Of course, there are going to be women who are acting from an emotional point of view, from an attachment point of view, and say, no, I'm not sharing my man, I just want my man to me. And you're like, what about your sister? They're like, none of my business. But you know what's going to happen? It's inevitable that the men are going to sneak around, because the other women are still going to desire and want to be with someone. So wouldn't it be more practical if, and it's dangerous, because not knowing if someone's been promiscuous can cause even more problems within the family unit. So it's better when it's done in a controlled environment and everybody knows. This is what's happening in the society today, where people will lie and cheat and sneak around, and it's all based on lies, as opposed to if you sat down and agreed and worked together to make sure that the women, I guess you could say an argument like, well, the 10 women could have children and multiply and then eventually provide. But look at it, think about the age group. How long would it take for each of those children to be of age comparing to the people that are already there? So yeah, naturally, by natural nature, I mean, there's so many reasons that, yeah, point to that. But at the end of the day, you have to also base it on the culture and the law of the land in where you live. So this is why having your own culture, I mean, this is something that most Eastern cultures and cultures that come from prior to like mainly the European and the Asians, who, you know, they restricted it because really it was down to the fertility rate and they don't multiply as, say, the Africans or, you know, people that are able to have a higher level of fertility rate. So people like that die out eventually. So really, yeah, we have to use logic and common sense and right knowledge when we address that topic. Of course, there are always going to be people that are going to be like, no, 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 they're against it. But you have to think, where does that come from? Because even if we went biblically, right, for the religious people, most of the prominent people had more than one wife. We can talk about Solomon, we can talk about Abraham. Abraham had what? Hera, Sarah, Keturah. We can talk about David, even Jesus. But again, I know these are touchy subjects for people, but if the Bible and the Quran promotes having 4 wives, obviously people abuse it. Then you had people that had wives and concubines, you know, and some people obviously abuse it, but really that's something that throughout the scriptures, throughout nature, is something that is definitely natural, all right, by nature. All right, let's keep going. Robert Jones, Rahubat. I have experienced various encounters with the spiritual world. Should I not speak of these events, or should I share with my Nubian brothers and sisters? Again, that's a personal experience. You have to share with who you feel comfortable sharing with. And this is why being amongst like-minded people, people of the same consciousness, vibration, are able to hear things that they've also experienced, and you're not going to be judged. You know, like in religions and certain places where you feel isolated and you can't talk about certain things. You know, in church and in the mosques and in religious places, it's almost taboo for you to question things that you're thinking about, question things that don't make sense about the gods and the stories of the Bible. Like you're made to feel like you're infidel, you're blasphemous if you're talking about questions that you just want to know answers to. So yeah, it's about being in an environment. That's why we're like, ask us anything, because we know what it feels like to have questions and to be in a situation where you're not allowed to speak up or ridiculed. You know, you might have an experience with being abducted by an extraterrestrial, and to you it's very real, but you're not allowed to speak about it because people are going to think you're crazy or you're mad. So when you're amongst people that are of the same mindset, you know, at the very least, you can talk and express yourself, and they're not going to make you feel like something's wrong with you. But yeah, so can we talk about, and yeah, of course, it's your personal experience. So when you share things with people, you have to know who you trust, who you can, you know what I mean, not feel like they're going to look at you in a particular way or treat you in a particular way. But yeah, definitely, we talk about all sorts. We answer questions, and the thing is, a lot of the things we talk about are now being proven to be true and factual and to exist. It's not like years ago where, you know, it would be crazy to talk about things that were right in front of your face, but it was being hidden, to talk about extraterrestrials, to talk about life other than life on this planet. You know, the master teacher was speaking about life on Mars and put out the holy tablets before, you know, NASA and the government started to confirm, yeah, there's life on Mars. You know, there are many experiences that people have had around the world, you know, that if they were to speak on it back then, yeah, people will look at them sideways, but today, not so. Okay, let me keep going. I got a lot of questions, so I want to get through as many as we can. So the next question, okay, from Jay again. Jay, you're showing us so much Ashuk divine love today. Why is polygyny not the standard of Wu if we understand men and women natures? Why not? Why so restricted? And why a big say from the women if it's the man leading the way? No, this is it. In Wu-Sabat, it's not the man leading the way. We rule together in unison, but we are in a day and time where it's the divine feminine's time, right? And so, but to answer that question, any divine feminine, not all females we refer to as this divine sacred feminine. A divine sacred feminine will know this, and they will be of a mental state and development where they understand that is natural. But if you've been groomed and brought up in the West and you're dealing with some of the mental diseases like ego, jealousy, like anger, you're not going to be in a rational mindset or using critical thinking. Most sacred feminine, they understand and when you say, is it not what did you use a particular word? The standard. It is, but it's not for everyone. Not everybody can handle or deal with being in that position and like most men honestly can't deal with one woman because like the woman is far more intelligent than the man for a start, and to be able to meet all their needs. We've been interrupted by a live caller, so we're going to pause and come back to that, put a pin in it. Man, I'm so excited about my news I want to share with you guys at the end. So the caller's here. Rahubat caller, what's your name, where you calling from, and what's your question, please?
Rahubat, Squadre calling from South Carolina in the United States.
Rahubat Zamal, how you doing?
Yes, good, everything good, can't complain. I had a question. I was calling to ask, will y'all ever create a video breaking down and showing how originally was it the 24 elders and there was 12 agreeable elders that came down and seeded the planet using the dolphins to germinate the waters, and how we came from water onto land and grew from there? Because I know just from doing research and then listening to y'all for the past couple of years, everybody doesn't really, isn't familiar with that history or story. Everybody's just still stuck on like this whole Enki and Enlil and Naki story, thinking that we came from the Nakis instead of we were already here before the Nakis even arrived here.
Tua. We've answered it and broken it down, but yeah, we do want to hear feedback for videos that people would like to see. So maybe we need to do another video on that. So thank you for that. But yeah, we do, literally everyone now knows that life begins with water. But the thing is, when people say life, they only think or consider life to be the humanoid or the human, mammal nature. But we know that life starts in the water. Even like I said before, where sperm is in water, in the chaotic waters of that's why the woman's waters have to break before the baby comes out. So, but yeah, we've spoken about that, but we will definitely. But it is a known fact that even that's why the first thing they look for when they went to Mars or anywhere they go is water, and that shows you that we come out of water, and even now we're still in water. We call it Earth, but it's actually more predominantly water. And the air that we breathe is water. So we still drink water every day to hydrate. We still have to go into water in the sense of have a shower or have a bath. We love to go on vacation and go to the beach. This is our natural connection to water. And the dolphins, if you look at the genetic makeup of the dolphins in terms of their chromosomes and how they recognize that they are parents. The word dolphin actually happens to mean womb, you see. So because it was the womb that was used by our overseers, the Natharu, the highest beings, to basically put the genetics of the, you know, if you can call it the blueprint or the black print of life into the capsules and put it into the dolphin and send them here to germinate the water for us to evolve from that. You're right. The Anunnaki stories come way, way later. And when the Anunnaki came, what people should recognize is the Anunnaki had to take something that was already here, evolving, right, which was the beings, the Pataites, those small Neolithic beings. And when you start to go to different cultures and ask about the creation stories that they know, if you go to the Dogon in Mali, you know, they will tell you that they came out of the waters. Everywhere you go, the most ancient stories, the Egyptian stories, and then they'll tell you about the frogs and the snakes, and then they go into the Ogdoads, which are the 8 beings that came out in 4 pairs, to the Enneads, the 9 that came afterwards. So even in terms of just like modern day scientists, archaeologists, anthropologists, they're now telling you, you know, where life began. And most of the time they go back to Africa. The oldest fossils are found in Africa from these Neolithic, you know, short, small little beings, the Pataites that came out of the waters. So you're absolutely right that the Anunnaki took that evolving being and then mixed their genetics to create, you know, the hybrid. That's why they were calling them Lulu Amilus, which is a primitive worker. But you have to remember that in order to, we say create, and when people hear the word create, they think it's the first time, because they say in Genesis that God created the heavens and the earth. But when you look into the meaning of the word, it's not coming into existence for the first time. To create means to grow something, and you're taking something that already exists and you're growing it, and that's what happens. But things existed before you can, things exist before you can take them and then adapt them or grow them or to build something from them. So the word is to recreate. R-E means to do again, you know, so it was like to replenish something, or to recreate something, or to refill. See, the word R-E is refill, remember. Anytime you see that word, it's saying to do again, you know, so they're literally saying refill the earth, because it was already, if you had a glass and you had water and you drank it and you're like, can you refill my cup, please? It's not the first time. It's like, so yeah, Genesis is actually picking up when the Anunnaki came and they were doing the recreation or refilling, and they had to take life that already existed, because even during that time when the you know, the floods came, there were beings like the Pataites, the Watusis, and the Hindu beings that were already here, and they went behind the waterfalls and they hid and waited till the waters subsided, and then they came back onto land. So yes, you're right that people just pick up from when Genesis is talking about, people think Genesis means the beginning. This is the misinformation or the programming. The Hebrew word is not even Genesis, it's Barashith. Yeah, bara in the Hebrew is to do again, recreation, and refill, and to and it says and multiply. So the word itself is telling you it was not the first time, it was a renewal. So people get confused, but in Wu-Sabat, because the Nataru, our ancestors, they predate the Anunnaki and every other extraterrestrial that ended up coming here to this planet. And another quick thing, when they tell you about the story of Cain and Abel, after Cain killed Abel, and he went to where? The land of Nod, right? But there were already people there. And the Bible doesn't account, all right, where did these people come from? How did he have a wife? But you had Anak. Anak is the wife of Azazel. Azazel is who people referred to as the devil. That's why he was able to like go to that land of Nod, because those disagreeable beings were already there. And then you had all different types of extraterrestrials coming there, because it was like a recreation place. Like extraterrestrials were coming on holiday, coming to hunt. There were even like splicing and doing genetic engineering, creating their own beings, why you have many beings, like they talk about unicorns and, you know, centaurs, and they talk about beings with 6
Werewolves
toes and
stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you're
And
right.
vampires.
All right. Yeah. Did you have anything else?
Yeah, I was gonna ask too. Enlil is able to shape shift also too, correct? Same
Correct.
thing with Enki. They're
Correct.
able to shape shift.
Tua. Yes. The thing is, when we say shapeshift, like, it's a science of alchemy and the ability to manipulate your molecules. Like in ancient Egypt, this is something that was taught. That's why even the Jesus story, when he's talking about, you know, the wedding in Cana, which was his own wedding, and he's talking about turning water into wine, that's just alchemy. Even himself, he had the ability to transfigure himself. And today you have celebrities and many reptilian children, bloodlines, that are also able to shapeshift. And people they don't know that it's something that even females shapeshift every single month during their menstrual cycles, you see. And so shapeshifting and the ability to transfigure yourself is a science and something that you can learn by way of alchemy.
Okay, so you don't have to be reptilian to be able to do that. You could just learn it because it's a form of alchemy, or they was taught that during the secret mystery schools in ancient Kemet.
Check this out. We're all reptilians. We're all part reptilian.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because you grow in water in your mother's womb, and you're still in water now on the planet Earth, and we need water. Like, we are part reptilian. The difference is that some of us have the genetics of the Natharu, and then you have some that have the genetics of the Anunnaki. So on the planet today, there's a lot of different mixtures, and the nature is what will give away who you align with. And some people will, you know, gravitate to this knowledge quite easily, and others won't, or they will fight it because they got the two natures within them. And this is why it's so important to know for yourself where you come in terms of your lineage and in terms of your bloodline, in terms of, you know, who do you have your allegiance with. And that goes back to what I was saying about Michael, Melchizedek, you know, and he's here to, and most extraterrestrials are coming to find their children. People call them star seeds, golden children, but on the planet, there's so many different mixes. And you've got the hybrids, you've got those that have been created by some of these extraterrestrials, and they're here. We'll talk about people like Nikola Tesla. We can talk about some of these people that are parading and walking around every day, some of the magicians, some of the people in the entertainment industry, people in government, people in all walks of life, you know. But yeah, in terms of the word to be a reptile or be a reptilian is part of our nature. But it's just that you got negative reptilians and or disagreeable reptilians, and you have positive reptilians, and it's about which one are you a part of, you know. So yeah, it's a good question. Go ahead.
Last question I had to ask. With Akhenaten, was he both genders, or did he have like both what the masculine male and feminine female energy? And then also like the shape of his head, his children's head, his I think 6 daughters and his wife's head, was that the mixture due to having like the Naki DNA or the reptilian DNA in his body and system? That's why he looked that way?
Tua. I mean, that's why people, it took a long time, but when they looked at him in comparison to other, you know, beings that were depicted on the walls of Egypt, if you see him, he's got like, you know, a slight tummy like a female. He's got hips, and yes, he was a double resonant being. And these are the beings that have, like the master teacher explained to us and broken down, that today the distortion becomes what people are referring to as LBGT and so forth, right? But you can have a physical male body and have a spiritual female spirit, yeah, and vice versa. You can be a physically feminine or a female, but have a male spirit within you. And these beings were the beings that were referred to as gatekeepers, or they have the ability to open the gateways. And he was one of those beings. And yeah, so he was referred to as a hermaphrodite, because when you talk about a hermaphrodite or hermaphrodite, if you break down the words, you can literally hear he morphing, right? Or her morphing. So you got, you know, men morphing into women or women morphing into men. That's what it means. And some of them have double the you know, both genitals, and that's why they call them hermaphrodites or hermaphrodites. And yeah, so he was one of those beings that had the double resonance to be able to open the gateway. And the gateways are ways that you can open portals and leave here, because most people here are trapped here or quarantined here so they can learn certain lessons, or are trapped here as a prison and not allowed to leave here. Because if you read like books of Revelation 18:2, for example, it talks about, you know, that you're trapped here like foul spirits, and you have legions of spirits, and you have beings that were cast down here. You got Nephilims and so forth that cannot leave here unless they transform themselves. And the test is really to see how you gravitate to this knowledge and how you transform yourself. And those who want to, from inside their being, is natural. You know, they don't have a problem with hearing this knowledge and this information. But others, you know, they just dismiss it because they you know, it's not for them. It's a genetic doctrine as well.
Right. So was he used by the agreeable side or the disagreeable side, Akhenaten? Because I know he brought in the one God religion, and then I think I read through research that he took, I think it was possibly the Ark of the Covenant, and ran off with it, and then they was chasing after him to get it back.
I mean, he was just like today. People think they're doing a good thing, but not always turns out to be the case. He just wanted to stop the divisions and bring the North and South in terms of Egypt together, and to bring about harmony. And so yes, you're right. He wanted to return the multiple people worshipping, because the different dynasties and the different like people were going, you know, in you know, the Amun dynasty wanted to, the priest of Amun. So he tried to basically bring about peace and bring everyone together. But yeah, in terms of when you're saying the Ark of the Covenant, that the master teacher has broken down and given us the knowledge in terms of, if you read the part of that called Speaking of Tongues, he explains, and that, you know, it was a device like a communication device, like you know, you have an antenna, because in the story in Genesis about the Tower of Babel, people think it's about the tower, but they don't realize the tower was an antenna, like an aerial, and the actual device to work with that, like having a radio, that what people are calling the Ark of the Covenant, was that device to be able to, like Nikola Tesla, he was doing that as well, where he started to use, you know, he had technology for interstellar communication, and that's what the tower was about. And the obelisks, or the benben is what we called it. The word benben obviously refers to son of a son, and it's just going to talk about the resurrection of Hera, you know, Osiris's son, who they call Horus. But yeah, I don't want to digress into, you know, too much things. But yeah, so it was, he was trying to do a good thing by bringing everybody together. And religion, they distorted that and picked it up. And this is where you get the monotheistic religions from, because most Western religions come out of ancient Egypt anyway. But they've just distorted it to be like, okay, worship us only. And they basically just distorted the whole thing. And today was about, okay, that one God, that one being is who you answer to. And it ended up with the Anunnakis, with the being they refer to as Tammuz, you see. So the stories became the Anunnaki stories, which became the biblical and the Quranic stories, where you had the Muzi with Ishtar, right? And then they had their son Tammuz. And that came from the Osiris, Isis, and who they call Horus, or we say Asaru, Ashtat, and Ha or Harar. That story became, you know, your Tammuz, the Muzi, and Ishtar story, which then became your God, Mary, and Jesus story. Yeah, so
right.
That's how it got changed, and then it came because Tammuz was the one deity that in the Sumerian doctrine you were supposed to. He was like the person you go to speak to or communicate with the Anunnaki, you know, and that became your one thing where it now becomes Jesus. You must go through Jesus to get to the Father, and that Father
Right.
I knew that they're talking about, and you know. So yeah, it's got distorted until today. Religions, they just keep multiplying and spreading with misinformation, and it just gets worse every day because everyone tries to become that one God that everyone should listen to and follow and worship. But within our culture of Wu-Sabat in ancient Tamaray, we had many, you know, we recognize different deities, but in a subtle kind of way, they still take that as well, because even though in religion they will say worship one God, when you read the books in the right language, like it's not one God. Elohim is plural, there's more than one. Even in
Right.
Islam, it's plural because they have the 99 names of, you know, they say Allah, and you have plural and you have gender, Alat, Allah. It's the same with, you know, religion in terms of Christianity and the monotheistic religion. So we are now here back to renew our story of, you know, Natharu, our ancestors, and letting you know that you are that God, you know, that everyone is trying to get you to worship outside of yourself to them and give your
Right.
energies to them. So it's about recognizing that even if you say you're God, that comes with responsibilities, because a God is in control. You know, God needs to know things and have to do certain things too. And that's why we keep telling everyone it's not about staying outside, getting the knowledge and knowing about Anunnaki. And, you know, there's an actual transformation that you will only get from being touched and raised by the one who has been sent here in this day and time to make that happen. But it's down to each person if they want to listen to the angel as it says or not. Yeah, I hope that helps you. I got to
Right.
take other questions. There's so many questions waiting to be answered. All right.
Yes. Appreciate it.
Peace, you, love you too. Wadu.
Peace. Wadu.
Okay, so I was answering your polygyny question, JX, and I was saying that it's not restricted. It is the woman as the divine sacred feminine to choose and make the right decision. Of course, if they're not a divine sacred feminine, if they are operating off of emotions and they are on that jealousy and, you know, then it's going to mean that it's not going to work. So this is why you have to choose wisely. You know, it's better to be upfront, truthful, and the woman that is going to, because remember, if they are sisters, as in they get along from real divine love, and it's about how they work together, how the family works together. I mean, there are many reasons. It's about economics as well. It's about, you know, working together as a community. It's about, you know, when one female maybe is not around, someone else can look after the children for them to go and do. It's just a unit that makes sense from our culture. So yes, in terms of, it's not restricted, it's just done in the right and correct way. And yeah, if the woman is a sacred feminine divine and she's raised mentality wise, she will get it. All right. And there are many people that are not even in our culture per se. Like, you know, there are many groups now where females are talking about sister wife and, you know, like they're going back to the culture that made sense, because there is a shortage. I mean, if you even look at in terms of in our community, as people refer to as the black community anyway, you have so many brothers that are incarcerated in jail or just experiencing being unalived in massive numbers. So, you know, yeah, we have to make sense and to rebuild and to grow in a healthy business where there's so many reasons we can look at why it makes sense, but not for everyone. It's not for everyone. Not everyone is cut out for it. I'm talking mentally, financially, even spiritually, you know. So you have to know what you're doing. It's not just about sex, which is what a lot of, you know, males particularly, they get excited about that, because it's not about orgies and all that kind of nonsense that, you know what I mean? It's going to the left, going to lust and going into like wrong vibrations. It's more about, you know, does it make sense for the family, for the community, for you as a family, for you as a, you know, a business unit, whatever. Like, but mentally as well, you got to know that sex has a science as well as an art to it. And if you're smart, you're going to think about the future. All right, let's keep on moving. Great day it is. Good to be home. Okay. That's from, yeah, that name, I ain't going to try and pronounce it, but I can get as far as phenomenal. I can deal with 3 divine, you say that, Pharaoh, I can deal with 3 divine feminines if they are on it. Laughing out loud. You see, this is what I'm saying. It's not a joke thing. And you say you can deal with it, but that remains to be seen, because like I said, you already know, bro, like when it comes to the finances and all of that as well, emotionally, everything, you got to be there, and it's got to be equal for each single feminine that you're with. You can't be biased. You can't treat one better than the other. You got to basically be able to keep all of them happy. If you buy one thing for one person, you got to buy it for all of them. You got to be there emotionally for all of them, economically. So it's like I said, most men honestly can't even deal with or handle one, much less. But all right, let's keep going. Right, next question from Victor Karuki. How comes the Wu-Sabat culture is not widespread at the source in Africa? That's a funny question, as in you claim the source is in Africa. And how do you know it's not widespread? I mean, like anything that is valuable or new to the fact that it was a time period it had to come, as in when it was divine timing, which was from the year 1970, where the seventh seal was open and it began to come into effect to bring in the new cycle from the year 2000. So Wu-Sabat was spreading and is spreading worldwide, and it's the new cycle, but it's not about numbers. It's not about quantity. It's about quality, because many are called and few are chosen, because not everyone wants to do the work. The reality is a lot of people are gassing and they talk, and when it comes to the actual put your money where your mouth is, actually transform, actually take on the responsibility of helping others, of building and bringing about the things we all claim we want, you see who actually turns up and actually does the work and contribute and get involved. And, you know, you can have 1 million people, but Think about it. If 144,000 are referred to as the elite, the chosen ones, to a planet full of nearly 8 billion people, how big is 144,000? You see, so in my experience as well, I think that's one of the, I'm trying to think of the right word, disencouraging, disappointing, is the talk and the people that do the talking but don't do the walking. So when you say how comes Wu-Sabat culture is not widespread at the source, it actually originates from where you're calling Africa, because that's where it started from. But you have to remember, in the last 6,000 years, right, from 4004 BC up until the year 2000 AD, right, it's really 4004 BCE. We roughly say 6,000 when we count from 4,000, because when you look at the Bible, the Quran and religion and ask people, mainly from the DNA of the Neanderthal or the Cro-Magnon or the Denisovan and Homo florensis, if you ask them, everything dates to 6,000 years ago, right? And that's the birth of religion. And that was the birth of the moon cycle, the last moon cycle of 6,000 years, because you have a 24,000 year cycle, and it's every 24,000 years that the cycle starts again. And so you had a sun cycle, a moon cycle, a sun cycle, and then in the last 6,000 years, from 4004 BCE, we were in a moon cycle, which ended in the year 2000. During that last 6,000 years is where a lot of people lost their identity and they had amnesia, especially those from the continent, from the African continent. And this was because you had the slave kidnapping, you know, by the Arabs, by the Europeans, and it meant that many people from Africa lost their culture, they lost their identity, they didn't know who they were anymore. They became Muslims, they became Christians, based on the people that abducted them and kidnapped them. And they made you strip. You watch movies like Roots, and you know, they remix these stories over and over again to perpetuate, you know, that whole thing about the transatlantic, they say slave trade, but we know there was no trading, it was a kidnapping. And some of the chiefs or the people that were kind of like instrumental in, you know, selling out, those people made sure that once you were taken, you can still go to Ghana today, you can go to many places where they were taken from, they were stripped off of their name, their culture, their language, and most people took on the slave masters' names, taken to America, taken to Jamaica, taken to different islands. Families were, you know what I mean, distributed into different places. So what I'm saying is that in that 6,000 years, most African people forgot who they were. And the sun cycle coming back in the year 2000, with Partner Babyanun opening the seventh seal and starting to reignite you, re-educate you, giving you back your culture, your language, your true origins, your roots. And he had to basically decipher and break all religions down to tell you that's not your way of life. Everything that you were lied to about, he had to give you the correct information. Of course, he faced resistance, and why he was kidnapped himself and incarcerated, because like the movie They Live, you tell people the truth, and some people are so used to the lies, it's like they don't want to hear it. So yeah, it's spreading, and Wu-Sabat is the future. We got a call, so let me interrupt and take that. Rahubat, greetings caller. What's your name, where you calling from, and what's your question, please?
They're just connected.
Disconnected?
Just connected now.
Oh, okay. Caller, can you hear me? Rahubat, what's your name? Where you calling from, and what's your question, please?
How you doing, bro?
Doing my best. How are you?
I'm trying my best.
Okay, what's your name? Where you calling from? And what's your question?
My question is, do you accept trade, the slave trade actually existed?
Sorry, your line's a bit choppy. Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I'm asking you, do you and your organization accept that the slave trade actually existed?
Oh, do we accept that the slave trade actually existed? We don't accept that there was a trade. There was kidnapping, but my last video, if you haven't seen that, where I was speaking with the elder, I explained that it has been distorted and greatly exaggerated to be more than what it really was. But there was definitely and certainly a kidnapping that was done, both the two predominant ones in the 1600s and in the 1400s and the 1600s. So yes, but not in the way that his story relays it and how it's been.
Could you explain to me what was this exchange?
There was no exchange. That's why I said it was a kidnapping. That's why we avoid the word.
This is what I would like for you to explain. What was the kidnapping? How did that go about?
How did it go about? Okay, much like what's happening today, yeah, where you have people that go into other countries. We've seen it in recent times with, say, for example, America or any of the superpowers going into a country. And, you know, sometimes they come as they're coming to do business, talk to people. And in fact, they didn't even really know much about what was going on in Africa, because we're dealing with Europe and, you know, the Western world. They came to Africa, and when they saw how the Africans were living, initially it was like, we come in peace, we want to do trade. And it was by, what's the word I'm looking for? It was deception, that they came back and told the rest of the people in, you know, in Europe that we found this place, or we've been to this place, and the people there have all these resources and they live in a particular way. And they came back with weapons and with ships and with cannons, and it was like they were caught off surprise, they were caught off guard. And then some of the chiefs. You
believe that stuff, bro?
Bro, it's not all about belief. It's like there's evidence. There's evidence around.
Where is the? I mean, show me one slave ship.
What do you mean, show me one slave ship? I'm not.
No, well, I mean, we were supposed to have been chattel slaves.
No, but I'm
put on boats.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you saying is your question that it didn't exist? Is that what you're saying?
More or less.
Okay, then. So, how did the continent get subjugated?
No, you mean what? You speak about continental drift?
No, the continental drift actually explains that people weren't taken by ships because there were people on either side before the continental drift. But what I'm saying to you is like, okay, let me give you an example. There's talk today in the news, right, of the American government saying in Nigeria, for example, yeah, that people are killing a religious group such as Christians, and that a threat is made to say that they're going to take action and send troops there, right? And I'm saying, we as an organization, we're not a religious group, so we're not Christians or Muslims or, you know, Jewish or whatever, because these are the things that cause wars and cause divisions amongst people, religious beliefs. And I'm saying that if they go into that country today, which is a sovereign nation, right? And they take their wars and guns and army and they go and fight and subjugate the people and put them as prisoners of war or whatever way you want to use to say they would take you. And now, even in Ukraine and Russia is going on right now. So I'm saying there were many wars that took place by foreign invaders coming into Africa, right? It depending on how far back you want to go, we can talk about, you know, they teach you this in history, you know, and they talk about...
Could I get a word in?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Well, the main reason why I'm bringing up this particular subject is because there is a division growing between the so-called African Americans or the Afro-Americans and the so-called indigenous Africans, where the so-called Afro-Americans are saying that they were not taken from Africa. They're indigenous to that landmass.
And there's truth to that. And this is what we're saying. This is where misinformation and divisions come in, because they're both right and they're both wrong at the same time. And what I mean by that is you're not from where you are based or where you're located. Yeah. What determines who you are, right, scientifically is based on your DNA. So what you will find is that both people have shared DNA. And the scientists today have classified that, as I said previously, the Homo naledi and the Homo habilis. So you've got two people on two sides that are the same people, same family, same DNA, same blood. But because of the continental drift, you had those that remain on one side of the division of water and you have others that remain on the other side. Just like people that were taken from Africa into, say, Jamaica or to Europe, they were told...
but
let me finish, please.
With all due respect, this is the point which I'm trying to get across. That never happened, bro. We were already on that landmass.
Okay, what I'm saying is both. It's not just one thing. So, yes, you were already on the landmass, which is what I've just explained, that the divisions meant that the same people from the same bloodlines and DNA, right, are on two sides. And they say some are right. Like, okay, let's look at the Americans, right? The Americans, when they start looking at the original inhabitants there, right, they're going to trace that back to, say, the Olmecs or even the Pataites, right? And then you had people that came from where it was China, basically, right? They came and mixed in by the dynasty.
Ushen.
Yes, exactly. And they mixed with those Olmecs to produce the Native Americans, which today people call American Indians, right? And the different tribes. But the original people there were African, right? That's not a dispute. I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is not everyone that has come over, even in recent time, came over by way of the continental drift. So I'm saying there are people, even in wars, like they take refuge in other countries so yes, I agree with you that the slavery in terms of the way it's been written in history is exaggerated, and there are, you know, fictitious stories and exaggerations and distortions as well. And this is why I'm saying both stories are correct.
Can I ask you a question?
That's why I'm
Have
here.
you ever heard of a researcher by the name of Dane Calloway?
I think so, if I recall correctly, yeah. But go ahead.
Well, basically, what he is saying is that
it didn't take place.
Advocating
that
the Americans, Afros, have no direct genetical tie to the continent of Africa.
Well, people can say what they want to say, and you know, but I'm saying, like, we are going and basing what we teach on what we're taught by a partner Babylon.
Yeah, but you see, what you teach needs to be analyzed the same
Absolutely.
way
Well, that's
Dane
why,
Calloway's information needs to be analyzed.
of course, and that's what we've been doing for over 50 years. We've been teaching by publishing books by way of Parnabab Yanun that anybody can scrutinize and go and do their research. And that's why he was like, ask me anything. And we go by that as well. Ask us things, because what we say to you is, don't believe us, go and check it out. Do your research.
No, but you see, this is what I'm trying to do, because basically when you go into the Grand Canyon, there are actually pyramids that are so old, they're deteriorating.
Yeah,
So
but we're not
basically,
disputing that. What does that have to do with what we're saying? I'm not saying there are no pyramids. Remember, those pyramids that you're talking about, yeah, they were built by, you know, beings that walked over there and were over there. And that's why we say there are pyramids and buildings in South America, you know, and even the whole story about the Anunnaki and Enki and then Lil Day were in South America as well. So we're not disputing that. There are pyramids all over the place. There are pyramids underwater. There are pyramids on literally every continent you go to, which were
no,
built.
there are pyramids right here in Europe. There are pyramids right here in the UK.
So we're basically in agreement.
Of course.
Okay. So,
but I'm just trying to have a discussion with your superior knowledge or information. You know,
okay.
Why is there a debate between the so-called African Americans and the indigenous Africans? And
okay, I was trying to get to that by the same fact when I mentioned about, okay, whether we agree or don't agree that people were taken from Africa, let's say, to Jamaica, right? There were people in Africa, in Jamaica, in Europe, in America, that do not want to associate with coming from Africa, because things like Africa, like Tarzan, you know, certain media and movies and certain things I'm saying, when they showed Africa, they were showing Africa as, you know, a very poor place with children with flies all over their face, and just make it like somewhere that is uncivilized and you don't want to go there, right? So you have people who would say, I don't want to associate myself, because they make the people in Africa look like it's a jungle. But today, people that can connect by way of their DNA and checking out and going over to Africa and connecting, they can see that it's a lie, it's an agenda for division to make you think you're different, because as I said originally, your DNA is what makes you where you come from. And I'm saying anthropologists, people that spend their whole lifetime trying to figure out where humans came from, how they became and located in different locations, have now done the Human Genome Project, right? Which is deciphering all the DNA and the genes that make us up, and have classified 3 major root races, okay? The Denisovan and the Homo florensis are the Asian stock, because they're found in Asia. Then you have the Neanderthal and the Cro-Magnon that are found in Europe. You have the Homo naledi and the Homo habilis that are found in Africa, you see, and they're not all from the same strand. This is where the missing gaps, when they're trying to say, how did man...
What are these missing? What's the original human beings of the planet?
The Africans. This is
Negroid, Caucasoid, or Mongoloid.
What people call it Africans, but we know that's a name that was coined by way of invaders from the word farka or frikia from the Arabic, and that dealt with the division of the continent, because it got sliced into different pieces, as you know, by way of the Berlin Conference, and, you know, like we say, through colonization.
The last time, with all due respect, who orchestrated this? Were they Caucasians or Negroids?
Caucasians, Europeans.
No, but you see, bruv,
you can't ask me a question and then say no. So obviously, If you know, then you wouldn't be asking me the question.
No, we're having a discussion here.
No,
Yeah?
okay,
And,
brother, because there are so other many people waiting to ask questions, if you want to have a discussion, we have one-to-ones, right? Where me and you can book a time period where we have, no, I'm being serious, like where we have discussions on a one-to-one where we can talk for as long as we like on every various topics. But this is called,
yeah, I saw the last one. Yeah.
ask us anything so that we can address many questions.
All right.
And it's not fair.
Can I just quickly?
It's not fair for those waiting. But go ahead. I'll give you.
I understand. I understand. No disrespect, my brother.
No, go ahead. I know. Go ahead. Last.
Can I just ask one more question?
Absolutely.
I mean, the obelisk that's on the river, the River Thames.
Yeah.
You said that was actually brought from Egypt to that spot?
Brought, not bought. Brought, as in bringing.
Explain it. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
That's what you said, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know what the original name of the River Thames is?
No. What's the original name of the River Thames?
Isis.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
no,
go ahead.
No, the point I'm trying to make is that obelisk was built there. It wasn't bought there, because if you check out how that was supposedly been bought there, because that obelisk is actually weighs between 180 tons and 200 tons.
All right.
And that was supposed to have been bought there like in the 16th century or something like that. Nonsense. If you check,
okay, what we're saying, bro, you can, I mean, unless you're going to present your findings, factual evidence, etc. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying we would have to scrutinize it the same way we do.
No, Google it. Google it. See,
okay,
that's
fine.
what
I'll go and look at it, but I know that there are many obelisks around the world, and there's evidence shown that some of them were taken and broken down, and
impossible.
It's not
impossible.
I know you can have your opinions and your belief. I'm saying
no, but Google it, bro.
No, I'm not talking about just the one in London or England. I'm saying
I'm saying around the world.
Okay,
it's like,
you know what? We're
like
getting into a back and forth as opposed to okay.
Not really.
What I will do,
it's like
I will.
It's like the Statue of Liberty. You go around the world, you will find many statues of liberty.
Okay, what I'm saying to you, bro.
Okay,
that's something you've presented. I will go and do some research and look into it. And next week, next Tuesday,
next strong.
Sorry?
Next strong, because we don't deal with weak.
You're funny.
I'm kidding.
All right, you know what? I could start speaking our language to you right now and you wouldn't be able to respond.
I won't understand.
So, exactly. So, I'm saying we can play this game all day long. But Tawa, which means thanks.
Okay.
Okay. Wadu. All right, that was interesting. Let's see if we can answer some more questions.
The chat said, can you go back to the top?
Okay, right, back to the top. Okay, but where can I purchase the calendar that... What's the time? Yeah, I'm going to make sure we got time to cover. Where can I purchase the calendar that Wu-Sabat uses? Well, you're going to have to try and find it because it's out of circulation at the moment. But most stores, or maybe even... brothers, we keep saying to people, come inside the family because then you can connect with brothers and sisters and someone might have a spare, etc. But it will be back available. We do have our book. It's called we have a calendar book. I don't have it with me, but it is shared and in the groups. Remember, if you haven't joined our Telegram group, that's somewhere that we post and share a lot of, information. So join the Telegram group. And then that's next one, side note off topic. But you all are very cool, especially your image really looking like a Mugdad. Okay. Tawat, thanks. Is everyone able to see beings from other planets or do they only reveal themselves to certain humans? Yeah, not everyone. because like they have to know or feel comfortable, or there may be a reason or a situation why they will make themselves appear to you. You can also be vibrating on a certain vibrational frequency that you're able to personify them or able to go into the different dimension and see them. And most people are only able to maybe do that for short periods of time. So beings exist all around us and everywhere, but they're just on different dimensions or vibrations. So this is why when we say things like clairvoyance is the ability to see interdimensionally. So you can actually see things that are around you, but are vibrating or on a particular frequency or vibration. So it's kind of like if you could transform yourself. We always use like water as a good example, because water is something that we take for granted, but it's so necessary, and we can see how water transforms itself, right? From say ice to liquid to gas or to vapor or steam, and it recycles and it's just able to move from one density to the next density level. So you're like the same. You can do that too. It's just we feed more of our physical, dense material form as opposed to the other parts of us, like the spiritual you. Now, those who are able to, they can literally come out of this physical skin suit. So you could be, they call it astral projection, and so you can literally be able to come outside your body. You will be there, but people can't see you. Many people who have had a near-death experience relay this, that they're outside their body, watching their physical body being operated on in a hospital, for example, and they are aware of everything and they move and go around and see things, but others can't see them. And that's just one level of vibration. But you are attached and connected to that physical body by something called an etheric cord, right? The etheric cord is, the best way I can describe it, it's like an energy cord that can stretch for miles and miles and miles and millions of miles, but it's still connected. And, Wonder Woman, she used to have that lasso but I'm just using that as a visual representation. But think about, like, when you come into this physical world, you're attached to your mother by an umbilical cord, which like keeps you alive through her providing you with the nutrients and everything as you are inside the darkness of her womb. And then you come out, and then what do? They cut it. But the etheric cord is something that draws you back to your physical body. It's almost like until you're ready to leave and transcend or translate, transmute, because energy doesn't die, right? Or what people call die, that's when it's severed or cut off. And then the physical body now doesn't have any movement, no interaction. So when you come out of your body, you're still connected to it. You can travel and go places and visit different realms and different dimensions, but you can then come back. So it's all about the manipulation of energy at different density levels, okay? Sometimes people can get lost outside of their body and never get back. And then people say they're gone, or they were in their sleep and didn't wake up. Yeah, so that's dealing with the fact that, yeah, you can actually personify or be in different dimensions or realms and see and meet different beings that live on. It's just like the way we are physically, it's natural to us. The things we do here in that world or that vibration or density or realm, it's exactly the same to beings on that level. So there are rules that govern the spiritual world. There are rules that govern the mental world. There are rules that govern the etheric world. And by divine design, everyone and everything is in their rightful place. And some have the ability or the leave to come down or up on that, what they call Jacob's ladder. But that's more referring to you raising your energy and vibration to opening your higher consciousness. All right, so let's keep going. Oh yeah, but physical extraterrestrials or beings, they walk amongst us, and some people are just like humanoid, just like you. Some are shapeshifters. We've covered a video with many different types of extraterrestrials, and look out for 12/12/2025, where we're going to go into more details. If you haven't checked out OSM Vision. All right, let me keep going because there's so many questions. Yeah, I think when people phone for discussions, it takes up a lot of time, but I think if you want to discuss, book a one-to-one. All right, let's keep going. Crowlow L, why did the 13 colonize us in such a way that made it so obvious that the 13 colonies was getting galactic help? The way they colonized us was so unnatural and anti-life. This, again, because they were in contact with extraterrestrials, they're overlords. That's what they call them, the overlords. So when you look at, that's why we're saying, like, when you look at the way society, the hierarchy of New Babylon is structured, it's by bloodlines that tie back into these extraterrestrials, these reptilian beings, these beings from, Pleiades, the Pleiadians that have bloodlines of children. And that's why most of the people in control, they have the RH negative blood type is a clue. Not saying other people don't have it, but if you look at predominantly these families, they all tied in by blood, and then they are part of certain orders, all the way from, if you want to look at, the Masons, if you go back and look at all these like presidents and certain people, they were part of the Masonic orders, which ties into many, many rituals and certain things. So these extraterrestrials that were supporting them, behind them, a lot of them have left because judgment was passed on the Adamites specifically, because the Adamites were the gravitation of the Anunnaki and the Pleiadians 6,000 years ago, and they were actually given dominion over this planet for 6,000 years. But that has ended, and the agreement has ceased, and now, they've got to basically, they've got to leave, and the overlords have left them already. Okay, let's keep going. I'm gonna give short answers to these questions, even when I can give more, but just so we can get through as many questions as possible. Can we really re-establish a matriarchal system if we are allowed more than one wife? We are in a matriarchal system in our culture. Remember, people talk like, can we? If you're part of us, as in the culture of Wu-Sabat, yeah, our world is completely different. And so it's already done in our world. Did all the Jesus before come with the same teaching, and what was the real purpose of the last Jesus? No, different. It's basically different extraterrestrials being sent to specific people. So when you look out through the people that come in the religious setting, an angel appears to someone, whether it's the Mormons with Moroni, or whether it's Muhammad with the angel Gabriel, or Jesus he said himself, I'm sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? So people are sent a warner to their people to teach them and guide them. And when they come, people distort their teachings and turn it around and start to say, they said this, they said that, and they distort it. And every single race has been sent their warner, and the warner that we have is for the Negroid. Rahubat caller, what's your name? Okay, we'll come back to that. Rahubat caller. Rahubat caller, what's your name, where you calling from, and what's your question, please?
Rahubat Seken, my name is Gary from Montreal, Canada.
Hey, Rahubat, how you doing? What's your question?
First of all, Kayef Atir Antak.
Anuki Kawa Zamal, Tawutak, Wu Antak.
I don't know what to say after this, but
You did well though, you tried, at least we're using it. And I've got, stay to the end, I've got an announcement, beautiful announcement I'm excited about on the language,
okay,
right?
perfect.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to know, are you gonna make a video on the Islamic religion? Like how you disproven the Islamic religion?
I mean, we don't even need to, I mean, there's so much videos already made. Have you watched the video on YouTube called Fake Sunni Muslims? Or the fake...
No, I never watched it.
Fake Orthodox Sunni Muslims. But to be honest, we are so way past religion. Those days when the master was teaching and explaining religion and took us through the various schools, Islam being one of them, I mean, he put out so many books and videos, and not only for Islam, but he did that with Christianity, he did that with, do you know what I mean, Judaism, he did it with all the religions, including even, name it, he did it. And he left each one with a book called 360 Questions to ask the Sunni Muslims, 360 questions, you know, so the 360 is because obviously 360 is 9, and it's also a completion circumference like a circle. So he covered it all, and then it was a distraction because really he was here to teach us Wu-Sabat. And to be honest, till this day, people are still caught up at asking about religion and talking about the debate books he put out. They're covered religion. Like, we're wasting time. We literally spent 30 years. Imagine you have a divine being that has knowledge of 76 trillion years about everything to do with universe and to do with the things we need to learn how to do and how to get out of this, like teleportation, you know, all the higher sciences. And people just keep asking questions on dead religions and dead Abrahamic religions that are not really going to help you in this day and time. In fact, they are the reasons why many people are in such a low state mentally and everything. So we don't really want to keep making videos. Like, religion has expired. Honestly, we really got to move on and talk about things that are much more of, like, there are things that are really important that are happening in the world right now and coming. And we want to focus on that, to be honest. The hereafter doctrine, the Pataraks, the master secrets, you know, and the actual facts. So I think our time will be best used on talking and dealing with information to help going forward as opposed to going backwards. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I understand, because I see that you make a video 28 minutes to disprove Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought you was going to make another video on the Islamic religion.
I mean, we will do a video if we have to, but as I said, I think we really honestly need to focus on solutions for things that are coming. You know, like, there are important things like uniting, coming together to build and to do certain things, because if not, we're going to find ourselves in a position with the new world order and with the things that are coming that, you know, people are going to, like, when it comes to, okay, look at what happened the other day with Jamaica, you know, or whatever. Like, do you think people are there discussing Bible and Quran and religion? And that, it's funny because I saw people still saying, thank you, Jesus, and thank God for me being alive. And these are people that lost everything. And this is how the spell is, because they don't think. Wu-Sabat makes you think and say, why did God not prevent the hurricane in the first place? Why are you thanking him afterwards, but not for not preventing, you know what I'm saying, what took place? So that religious mentality is something we really have to get away from and break, because these are just games that are being played by extraterrestrials and beings that have an agenda that, you know, they're weather machines that are around that people utilize to do certain things. So we got much more important things to really focus our, you know, our energy on. Right? But of course, if you ask us a question about Islam or anything, we can go into giving you the answer. But honestly, we have to try and move on.
Okay, perfect. It's understandable.
All right.
I would like to know too, how long does it take the master teacher to build Cameroon? Because I've seen Dr. Umar been taking forever to build the school.
That's such a funny question. Oh, I mean, you know, Dr. Umar is in a different, you know, we don't want to digress, but the land wasn't just built by Dr. York. This what we're saying is it's a community, and the brothers and sisters were all involved in helping build the community. And but yeah, it was built, if I can think, from round about 90. It didn't take that long. Let me think, probably about 96 to 4 years, probably less than 10 years.
Oh yeah, okay, nice.
Yeah, and we need to rebuild it. This is what I'm saying. Like we got work to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tawat, for your question. Let me carry on and answer some other questions. All right, but stay tuned.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ken.
Okay. Okay, we covered that. I have experienced various. This covered already. Yeah, covered that. I see J donation. Okay, we covered that already.
New one at the bottom.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who is supporting us with your donations. Has the ancient Egyptian mystery schools knowledge been preserved, or has Dr. York restarted these schools? These schools are what you're being taught by way of Wu-Sabat, but the ancient and secret or sacred information is only taught to people that are really serious and involved with the family and in the orders. We have the orders, ancient Egyptian order. We have many orders, and this is why we keep saying that some people just look at information as entertainment. They become information junkies. But even then, in order for you to be initiated and to be given the secrets, you know, you had to be initiated in the mystery schools. And even then, you still had to be worthy and prove yourself worthy, mainly initially by your heart, by your sincerity, and the elders are able to know and read you, you know, so you can't fake the funk. Wow, Jay, thanks again. Okay, let me go into that question. Every society governed by women have been destroyed or conquered. So why does Wu empower them like men? History proves this backfires. Even Cleopatra failed miserably to protect. No, Jay, you're wrong. It's the other way around. And Cleopatra was actually smart and very clever, and she literally sacrificed herself to save her culture. But in terms of, if you look at who has been ruling for the last 6,000 years, men in all the like important positions, kings, emperors, imams, rabbis, it's been men that have been running the world for the last 6,000 years, and look at the state of it. And so, yes, it's necessary. And remember, in Wu-Sabat, we're not saying just a woman on her own. We are a matriarchal society. It doesn't mean that the woman's just going to rule by herself. If you look at our ancient culture, Egypt, etc., in its glory, not when it fell. Men and women rule together, you see, because that brings balance. That's what we're talking about. We're not saying like the woman's gonna then put the man down or like suppress the man like the men did to the women for these last 6,000 years. Wu-Sabat is about balance. It's about togetherness. It's about love and unity. So we're not saying like it's just gonna be the woman on her own. A woman is better than a man at what she does, and a man is better than a woman at what she does or he does and is designed for. But together, left and right brain, left and right hand, left and right legs, it's two eyes. You've got to work together. So we're not saying, don't misconstrue it. We're not saying that, oh, just let the woman take over and rule by herself. It's about working together. See, here, this is what people do. They'll have to put words in my mouth. So the hurricane was caused by an extraterrestrial being force or a man-made weather machine or natural cause. Well, what I'm saying is we have to use right knowledge, right wisdom, and the right understanding, and look at the evidence and look at people that experienced it and people that are saying it was very different to what they're used to. We have to look at things like there are weather machines. We have to look at the HARP project and research. You know, we have to look at the fact that it is possible. I'm not saying for sure or certain, but I'm saying if you look at it, just use sound right reasoning. Frequency, right? Sound, sonic. You can use frequency to heal things or destroy things, right? It is possible. But you know, I don't want to go into speculation and you know, opinions. All right, but I just saw that question because it was right below Jay's donation. Yeah, so just to finish up that question, Jesus came to a specific tribe of people. Muhammad came to the Quraysh. What's his name? For the Mormons, he came for specific people. Joseph Smith. Okay, let me keep going. Do we have, this is life, it's a blessing again. Do we have different parents from ones that birth us on earth? Yes, you do. That's why I'm saying, like, you have etheric parents that, that are different to the physical ones, because you are an electromagnetic semiconductor able to personify and slow down your vibration and come here and take on a physical suit for the environment that you're going to be in for the period of time you're here to study and learn and master this lower realm so you can move up to the next one and then return back. You know, this is like, for lack of a better word, a prison. You're cast down here and you were sent here because you did something by being disobedient. I mean, those words don't maybe express what I'm saying, but you're here to learn so that you can change your ways, because you cannot exist in the higher realms or environments if you bring certain types of energy with you. Okay, it's just like, think about it. Let's just imagine that you have different rooms. One room is pristine. Everything is white in that room. Just for analogy, right? If you are not able to be clean in that environment, you won't be allowed in that environment. So you have to get rid of the things that are okay in the room where anything goes. You know, down here, there's so much chaos, so much different negative vibrations and energy, and you've got to be able to master the ability to not behave and act like the low vibrations that beings here are on. So you have to definitely learn how to move forward. Let me answer more questions. Did all the, okay, I covered that already. Rahubat student teachers, I have a question and I appreciate love all the work you do. In ancient times, people wore copper jewelry, and in modern times, it's used by some for health reasons. Yeah, that ties into what I'm saying about vibrations and frequencies. That's why I keep mentioning about being an electromagnetic semiconductor. This is why crystals were used. It's about learning about energy and learning how to harness it, transform it, utilize it for healing, for communication, for doing all kinds of things. So these minerals, resources, metals, etc., the ones that are, you have to understand that if you're an electrician, for example, right, when I talk about being a conductor and so forth, you have to understand, even people like Nikola Tesla, it's all about understanding the free energy and the way you utilize that energy to do many things, you know, like provide free energy, which is what Nikola Tesla was working on, and many others. How do you use, you know, the power of energy to levitate things? You know, look at Coral Castle, Egypt, where these big, huge stones, you can use laser as energy to cut things to precision. So it's about different types of energy and knowing how to utilize it. So yes, certain metals, base metals, help you harness energy or transform it in many ways, all right? That was that copper one. Wow, it's just jumped. Where was I? Okay, let me see. How comes, okay. Some of those Anunnaki beings were very manipulative and calculating, malevolent, and used their essence, mixed their DNA. And yeah, because they were producing a slave or a worker. They wanted somebody to do the work. Today, people are trying to produce robots to do the work. But eventually, they're making those robots to become androids and become, well, not fully sentient, but they're going to have a conscious and they're going to start thinking for themselves. And this is the biggest threat right now that people are talking about with artificial intelligence and robots. And you've watched the Matrix movie, not the Matrix, the Terminator movies, which actually is part of the Matrix movies. But I'm just saying, the same way man is doing things today to create beings, at the moment they're mechanical and they're using, you know, but eventually imagine those robots evolving to a point where they are able to be human-like, which is already happening anyway. Is the face of Anu in the Holy Tablets really based on a Sumerian depiction? The face of the Anu that you see in the Holy Tablets is the 9th Anu, and yes, you can find, just like the face of a Murdoch, you can find in the walls in Egypt, you can find that face in ancient Sumer of Anu. Mars was a masculine, okay, keep going. When is the exact date that African children of the sun will regain their powers and rights? There's no exact date. It's happening right now. It's called the awakening. And you, if you are an African child, you should be applying Wu-Sabat to spark off and actually, it's happening now. It's happening worldwide. This is the day and time we're living in. And remember, you have whole souls, full souls, whole souls, half souls, and no souls beings walking on the planet. The whole souls are predominantly in Africa and they're being activated by the sun, and it's happening worldwide. So okay, cover that. Yes, I call them, okay, forget that. Yellow woman, Rahubat, do you know if any human travel to other planets and meet other beings? Yes. How do they do it? Okay, we keep telling people the master teacher is such a being that has traveled here and come from somewhere else. What people keep thinking about is like we use the same method or mode of transportation. These beings travel intergalactically. They can travel in terms of opening portals and gates they have the technology and they're so advanced that they come here, and some come here by crafts that are so intelligent that they morph and they take on the environment they need to be in. It's like if you're water and you need to move in water, you're going to have different aerodynamics to if you are traveling in the air. And if you're traveling, so some of these crafts, they take on the aerodynamics of this planet, and others are made here because you have extraterrestrials that actually live here, and they are advanced and they make crafts. You can talk about the Antarctic, where, you know, even Hitler was making crafts there. So this thing is wide, it's very complex. It's not as simple as when we say extraterrestrials and beings and how they travel. Also, is the coming interview of the 12th of December one of Malachi? I heard the one with his son. Well, we're not going to give it away. You have to tune in on the 12th. Get your seat. You know, you can be notified, be in the premiere. Right, let's keep going. Brown Beauty, 39. Women give birth and each individual has to come through the womb of a woman who is the true creator, God, Empress. Exactly. That's why sometimes you need to hear it from the true goddesses themselves, right? Because that's such an obvious thing. And this is where the distortion came in with the Bible and religion, and men trying to turn it backwards to say that man was created first and then his rib was taken to make woman. But every man comes from a woman, including God if he's a he. You see, so he's and she's come from her. Yeah, so thanks for that, Brown Beauty. Women are teachers, nurturing, breastfeeding their babies, and we carry our babies in our womb. Men can't do that, 100%. And you carry the mitochondrial DNA, which is only passed from female to female offspring. Yeah, so 100%. We need more female teachers so that, you know, some of these brothers will actually be able to hear it from the divine sacred feminine. If I'm mixed race and the Wu-Sabat teachings strongly resonate in me, does that mean my wu-nuwapu genes are stronger? Yes, you just said it's a genetic doctrine, but my skin is pale. How does that work? It's not about the color of your skin. This is what we're saying. We got a caller? Yeah, it's this is what I'm saying, like different beings, and low vibration is hung up on skin color to deal with racism and all these kind of things. But of course, like, it's about your true being, and you only know that by your actions and your nature and what you manifest. And so no matter who you are on the planet, a better way to live is by way of Wu-Sabat, and that will tap into your true being. And when you start to deal with extraterrestrial beings, they're of all shapes, sizes, features, and the agreeable ones work together. Of course, if you watch the video we've done on extraterrestrial, every person on the planet, every race evolves from an extraterrestrial race. Some are hybrids and some have been made here and don't have, like I said before, some don't have a soul. So without the soul, you cannot transcend. Oh, I've been talking for so long. Let me actually have a little bit of my Miss Iris Moss, which I go by to keep my energy up. Man, this stuff is so good. Only available at Nashat at the moment. But yeah, I needed that just to wet my throat. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, it's about, does Wu-Sabat resonate with you? And you don't really know who you are, so you need to learn. I mean, when I say who you are, I mean your real being, your inner being. Okay, Rahubat Saken and all the OSM team. That's from Simon Stern, Rahubat. Right, I'm gonna skip. Thanks, Jay. Every little counts. We appreciate, love you. What would Africa be called today under Wu-Sabat? is called Tamaray. That's his name. It's always been his name, but Tamaray. Tamaray means basically ta is earth or pata, pata nun, pata re, and then you have ma is water, and re is the sun. Yeah, so it's the elements that make up the land and natural nature that, you know, things are grown by way of soil, water, and sun. So yeah, it will be called Tamaray. But it's been known by many, many different names. We use the correct tones in terms of, in our language, we say instead of Africa, it's Afaf, Reye, Ka. Yeah, Afaf, Reye, Ka, or Ka. Ooh, if we're dealing with the Africans. All right, let's go back to where I was. Okay. Okay, cover that. Do you know? Okay, cover that. Cover that. Cover that. Cover that. Right, where were we? Here we go. Okay, forget that. Oh, we got my brother Nee. Hey, my brother's here. Help answer some of the questions, my good brother Nee, Rahubat. Okay, yeah, you're already doing it, see? You're already doing it, so Tawuat Zama. So Ken is skipping over a lot of questions at the top. Yeah, sometimes it just skips and I can't help it. I do try and go back to the top, but then I feel like there are people that have been waiting a long time at the bottom. And if I don't do it both ways, it's going to be a bit unfair. Oh, Yellow Woman said, thank you, Saken, for your answer, but I meant I think that says human travel to other planets as other beings do. Yeah, this is what people are saying when they're abducted. Many people come back. Some people are children of extraterrestrials that have come and mixed with females, or they've abducted a woman, taken her up, impregnated her, or through insemination, brought them back to Earth. They've had children, and those children have had children, and they come from time to time to check up on these offspring that they're basically their children. And so many people get abducted, they get taken to different star systems, and they see things and they give them messages. So yes, humans do travel to other planets and as other beings do. I saw Predator Badlands as well, the new movie. If you have seen it yet, would you say it's based on the story of Anu and Enlil? Okay. I don't know if it's based on the story of Anu and Enlil, but okay, we got a call, so let me take this call. Okay. Huawei. Greetings, Rahubat. What's your name, where you calling from, and what's your question?
Yeah, second, it's me again from Montreal, Canada.
Go ahead, Zaman.
I would like to ask you what you think about hypnosis. Because there's a guy in my city, Montreal, Canada, whose name is Mesmer, and he's doing hypnosis in a very particular way. He's doing it by entertainment purposes, you know?
Right. I mean, it's a very bold question to say what I think about it, but the master teacher.
Let me land it.
Okay, go on.
So he's doing hypnosis for entertainment purposes.
Okay.
And I would like to go at one of his shows.
You would what?
And
sorry?
to see if it's as real as I think it is.
Okay.
But I don't want him to like hypnose me and I have some disagreeable beings coming in my body, you know?
Right. So why do you want to go? I mean, you're going at your own risk.
Yeah, but I would like to know what you think about it.
I'm not gonna tell you to go. So then you're gonna say, "Oh, Saken told me to go," and then no, it's a serious thing. Like when you're messing with, like anything can happen, and so many people do it if there is like a reason. Like we've spoken about being abducted. Some people, they go under hypnotic regression so that they can help them deal with the experience and to go through recalling, because sometimes when people are abducted, their memories get wiped, but not everyone is wiped sufficiently enough, and they still have remnants or they still remember, so they're tormented and they go through a lot of trauma. So it's used in that way. But for someone who is just wanting to do it for the sake of doing it, you might be disturbed by what you find. So it's not something that we recommend, because you might find out things that are going to really affect you, because a lot of people think when they go to these things that it's going to be positive, and if it turns out negative, it can have a massive effect on you. Meaning, for example,
but how can it turn negative?
Okay, let me tell you something. Let me ask you something. We've been taught that we've lived many lives and have been here many times before. In fact, on average, up to maybe 9,000 times you've come here before. And imagine you find out that in one of your previous lives, you were a mass murderer or someone that was really a pedophile or something really bad and negative. That can have a major effect on you in this current life. And sometimes you've been given grace in terms of, wow, we've gone way over time and I haven't even told you what I wanted to tell you. But, you've been given grace not to remember those things so that you can have a chance in this lifetime to basically fulfill your purpose. And so that's why it's not necessarily good. But so I wouldn't, if you're asking us in terms of what we teach, it's not something we would recommend for you to do.
Okay, thank you. That's my only question.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay.
Let me just see. I'm going to skip through because I didn't realize we've already run out of time. But I still want to tell you my good news. So Ken, can you talk about the reset date, especially I-667, where the 1000 was added to the time? Not today. Join the Telegram group for anybody who hasn't had their question answered. But I wanted to tell you that we've been working hard because everybody keeps asking us. Can you share the thing? Let me just share my screen quickly. We've been working very hard on the language because everybody keeps asking about the language. Is my screen being shared? Right. So, of course, this is OSM Vision, where you get so much videos and information about things we've already covered. But really, go on then, let's take it. Okay. I think because we've run out of time, it's up to you if you want to take any more calls. But I just wanted to let everyone know we've got our language course because everyone keeps asking, right? The language course is designed for you to be able to learn Mishpatia in 6 months, and it covers so much. This gives you everything you're going to learn. You can do it in your own pace. All the studies are in there. You've got videos, you've got quizzes, you've got exercise files, downloads, social media. Man, it's just like the language is so important. So look out for this any day soon. And it's going to be managed as well. So you can do it in your own pace. It's very cost effective. It's going to go towards helping, the administration and to legal as well. So we're so happy to bring you. There's videos. You can learn how to pronounce the words, write the script, literally everything. And, you know, it's up to you, obviously, how much effort you put in. There aren't any major requirements, just the willingness for you to want to learn. As long as you have an internet connection with your smartphone or tablet, PC, there you can leave reviews, Q&A, and it's continuously going to be updated because, you know, our language is alive. It's got a dictionary in there, so you can look, here you go, you can search words in Miss Batia as well as in English. You know, the chants are in there, everything you need to learn the language, because we all have to learn the language. We cover everything from the alphabet, the letters, to you can just expand and see the numbers, colors, pronouns. We literally go through every aspect of the language, and you can do it in your own time, in the comfort of your home, from anywhere in the world. We cover all the prefixes, suffixes, 5 senses, sight, sound, and it's also constantly, as I said, updated with new words and so forth. So we're so excited about this. So look out for it. You can join the Telegram group, and we will also, what we're going to do, the first 20 people, once we go live, that join, we're going to give a special gift that, you know, we're not going to go into telling you what it is. It's going to be a beautiful surprise. But yeah, so for all those who keep asking us, how can I learn? How can I learn? Now it's available. And yeah, we want to give thanks to everyone that supports us. And this is really by way of the 100 Project. Of course, if you want to send questions, we've got osmvision.wetransfer.com, where you can upload your videos there, and asking us 3 questions, and we can definitely get those answered for you. So yes, I just wanted to share that good news with you. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. We're already at the end, and I've gone over time, but same place, same time next week. All the TikTok family, I want to thank you as well for coming through, and yeah, look forward to the next one next week, same time, same place. Tawakum family, Wu-Wadu.
Who is God? God is God.
I found out that this man who was Dr. Malachi York.
This free eye actors thing, they're playing on the ignorance of the masses. They let you know what they want you to know.
I said I was going to take all y'all back to Egypt with me. I can't because the Arabs are messing everything up, so hell, I'm bringing Egypt here for you.
They've made so much jokes about aliens, but the word really is extraterrestrials or extra beings.
A sword myth. In our language, that means the black man.
They say, oh, it's a craft. And then you start to look at the whole Anunnaki thing. The devil was telling the truth and God was lying.
Amongst us, we have those beings, those high beings, going back 9 billion years ago, who are here on the planet.
Extraterrestrials do leave their children here. We can name drop them. David Bowie, Jimi Hendrix, caught up in their spiritual or their scientific knowledge of who they were, and they were caught up in both worlds. Within the center of the earth is hollow. There's beings that actually live and reside in there.
They now have fighter jets whereby it's connected to the pilot's subconscious.
Hitler was building this craft in the Antarctic.
You can't claim innocence due to ignorance. It doesn't say at the beginning, it says in the beginning. That means during a replenishing period. So that means that the earth was already there.
Some lost their soul because they've mixed in with other creatures on the planet. And when you mix in with other creatures on a lower level.
Souls are recycled. Spirits are recycled. Most people have not been taught the information about their spirit and soul.